Good day, ma'am. Sorry, what are you doing with that car?
This is my car. I live here. It's mine.
Yeah, right. We got a call that someone matching your description was breaking into a car. Can I see some ID?
So what's this all about? This vehicle is mine. That doesn't sound right.
Hands behind your back and don't say another word.
Are you racially profiling me?
What's this about?
The body cam footage begins mid-approach. Officer Derek Hastings walks up a concrete driveway in the Meadowbrook subdivision of Durham County, North Carolina. The neighborhood is established, well-maintained. Homes here average $450,000. The streets are quiet on this Saturday morning. A woman stands with her back to the officer, washing a gray Mercedes GLE SUV with a garden hose. She wears a purple hoodie and black joggers. The water runs clear over the hood. "Morning," Officer Hastings says. She turns, slightly startled. "Good morning. What are you doing with this vehicle?" "I'm washing it. I live here." "You live here?" "Yes." There's a pause. The officer shifts his stance. "We got a call about someone matching your description trying to break into a car on this street." Her expression changes. Confusion, then clarity. "Break into a car? I'm washing my own car in my own driveway." "Can I see some identification?" She sets down the hose and reaches into her hoodie pocket. She pulls out a driver's license and hands it to the officer. He examines it. The body cam zooms slightly as he reads aloud. "Kendra Thompson, 1847 Laurelwood Drive." "That's this address," she says calmly. He doesn't respond immediately. Instead, he flips the license over, then looks back at her. "What do you do for work?" "I'm an assistant state attorney, Durham County District Attorney's Office." The officer pauses. He looks at the license again, then back at her. "You got the registration for this vehicle?" "It's inside. Do you need me to get it?" "Yeah." She walks toward the house. The officer remains on the driveway. He radios dispatch, but the audio is unclear on the footage. The body cam captures the house number clearly, 1847. The mailbox reads Thompson. She returns with a registration card and an insurance document. Both list her name. The vehicle identification number matches the Mercedes in the driveway. Officer Hastings reviews the documents without speaking. Then he hands them back. "So," she says, "what was the actual complaint?" "Like I said, someone called about a woman trying to get into a car." "On this street?" "Yes." "What address?" "I don't have that in front of me." "But you came to my house." "You matched the description." "What description?" He doesn't answer directly. Instead, he shifts his weight and says, "Look, I know your kind of people like to make a scene, but I'm just doing my job." There's a silence. "I'm sorry," she says, her tone still controlled. "What do you mean by my kind of people?" "You know what I mean." "No, I don't. Can you clarify?" Before we continue, if transparency, accountability, and constitutional rights matter to you, subscribe. This channel breaks down real body cam cases using official records. No dramatization, just the facts. Now back to what happened next. "Ma'am, I need you to stay calm." "I am calm. I'm asking you a question." "You're getting defensive." "I'm not defensive. I'm confused. You came to my home, accused me of a crime. I showed you my ID, my registration, and now you're making comments about my kind of people. Are you racially profiling me?" The officer pauses. His hand hovers near the cuffs. "Turn around and put your hands behind your back." "Excuse me? You're under arrest." "For what?" "Obstruction." In North Carolina, obstruction requires interference, not questions. I haven't obstructed anything. I answered every question. I showed you my documents. I live here. Turn around. This is racial profiling. Turn around now. She stands still for a moment. Then slowly, she turns and places her hands behind her back. The handcuffs click into place. "You're making a mistake," she says quietly. Two neighbors emerge from homes across the street, one white woman in her 60s, one black man in his 40s. Both stand on their porches, watching. The officer walks Kendra toward the patrol car. She does not resist. She does not raise her voice. The body cam records everything. The 911 call that prompted the response was logged at 9:41 a.m. The caller reported a suspicious woman walking between cars on Laurelwood Drive. No specific address was given. The caller hung up before providing further detail. No other calls were made from that street that day. On November 18, 2 days after the arrest, the Durham County Sheriff's Office received a formal complaint from Kendra Thompson's attorney, Robert Chen of Chen and Associates. The complaint cited unlawful detention, arrest without probable cause, racial profiling, violation of Fourth Amendment rights. The Bodycam footage was flagged for internal review. On November 22, Captain Lauren Briggs of the Professional Standards Unit opened a formal investigation. In her initial report, she noted, "The officer's statements and the sequence of events raise serious concerns about both procedural adherence and implicit bias." Officer Hastings was placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. Dr. Floyd, a professor of constitutional law at Duke University, reviewed the footage at the request of local media. "This is a textbook example of pretextual policing," he said in an interview with WRAL News. The officer had no reasonable suspicion to detain Miss Thompson. She was on her own property. She provided identification that confirmed her residency and ownership of the vehicle. At that point, the encounter should have ended. He continued, "The comment about your kind of people is significant. It suggests bias, and the arrest for obstruction is legally indefensible. Obstruction requires an affirmative act that interferes with an officer's duties. Asking questions is not obstruction. It's a constitutional right." The Bodycam footage was released on December 3, 2024, following a public records request by the Durham Herald-Sun. Within 48 hours, the video had been viewed over 2 million times online. Community organizations, including the Durham NAACP and the North Carolina ACLU, issued statements calling for accountability. Reverend Thomas Knight of Solid Rock Baptist Church organized a town hall on December 7th. Over 300 residents attended. "This happened in broad daylight," Knight said, "in a neighborhood where people of all backgrounds live and work together, and it still happened. That tells you something about how deep the problem runs." Local and national outlets picked up the story. The New York Times ran a feature titled "Profiled in Her Own Driveway: The Arrest of a Prosecutor." CNN aired a segment with legal analyst Laura Coates, who said, "What makes this case particularly striking is that Miss Thompson did everything right. She complied, she provided documentation, she remained calm, and she was still arrested. It raises the question, if credentials and composure don't protect you, what does?" On December 10th, Durham County Sheriff Gerald Marsh held a press conference. "We take these allegations very seriously," he said. "Our department is committed to fair and impartial policing. We are conducting a thorough investigation, and we will take appropriate action based on the findings." He did not take questions. Behind the scenes, according to sources within the department, leadership was bracing for legal and financial consequences. On January 14, 2025, the internal investigation concluded. Officer Derek Hastings was found to have violated department policies on reasonable suspicion standards, use of discretion, professional conduct. He was terminated effective January 15, 2025. In a statement, the department said, "The actions of this officer do not reflect the values or standards of this agency." Hastings did not appeal the decision. On January 22, 2025, Kendra Thompson filed a federal civil rights lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of North Carolina. The defendants, Officer Derek Hastings and the Durham County Sheriff's Office. The complaint alleged violations of the Fourth and 14th Amendments as well as North Carolina state law. It sought compensatory and punitive damages. The case was assigned to Judge Patricia Timmons Goodson. The plaintiff's legal team submitted full body cam footage, dispatch logs, the 911 call recording, Officer Hastings' personnel file, which included 2 prior complaints of racial bias, both unsubstantiated, testimony from neighbors who witnessed the arrest, expert analysis on Fourth Amendment standards. The defense argued that Officer Hastings acted in good faith based on the information available to him at the time. Judge Timmons Goodson denied the motion to dismiss, finding that a reasonable jury could conclude the arrest was unconstitutional. In March 2025, both parties entered mediation. The county's insurer assessed potential liability as high. The body cam footage was clear. The arrest lacked legal justification. The comments made by the officer created additional exposure under civil rights statutes. On April 8, 2025, the parties reached a settlement. Terms: $15 million paid to Kendra Thompson. No admission of liability by the county, standard in settlements. Agreement to implement revised training on implicit bias and constitutional policing. Commitment to a third-party review of traffic stop and arrest data. The settlement was approved by the county board in a closed session. On April 10th, County Manager Tanya Evans released a statement. While we do not admit wrongdoing, we recognize that this incident caused significant harm to Ms. Thompson and raised important questions about our practices. We are committed to ensuring that every resident is treated with dignity and fairness. We have already begun implementing reforms, and we will continue to work with community stakeholders to rebuild trust. Through her attorney, Kendra Thompson issued a brief statement following the settlement. This was never about money. It was about accountability. What happened to me should not happen to anyone. I hope this case serves as a reminder that no one is above the law, and no one is beneath its protection. She declined further media interviews. This case occurred in a neighborhood that defies stereotypes. Meadowbrook is affluent. It is racially diverse. Crime rates are low. The homes are valuable. The residents are educated professionals. And yet, on a Saturday morning, a black woman washing her car in her own driveway was arrested. Her credentials didn't matter. Her address didn't matter. Her calm demeanor didn't matter. What mattered, according to the legal findings and the public record, was the officer's assumption. That assumption led to an unlawful detention. It led to an arrest without cause, and it led to a $15 million settlement. Bodycam footage provides a level of accountability that didn't exist a generation ago. It captures what actually happens, not what is claimed to have happened. In this case, the footage showed a woman doing nothing wrong. It showed an officer acting on bias, and it showed a system that eventually held that officer accountable. But accountability came after the arrest, after the humiliation, after the lawsuit. The question remains, how many similar encounters happen without cameras, without settlements, without consequences? If cases like this matter to you, if transparency and constitutional rights matter to you, subscribe for more breakdowns of real body cam footage and investigative case files. No dramatization, just documentation, just the record.